All right. First of all, much respect to Old Dominion for the way they came in here and played. Knew that going in. I know people want to talk about their group of five and whatnot. That's a really good football team. We knew that coming into it. I said that this week. We know all about the Sun Belt Conference and what they've done to teams across the country in games like these. So they certainly had our full respect coming in here, and much respect to Ricky and his team. And I think they're going to go on and win a lot of football games this year. They play hard, they play tough, they play physical, they make things tough on you in all three phases, which they showed tonight. Having said that, unacceptable from us from that standpoint in the way that we perform, starting with me. Certainly happy to win, and we're celebrating in the locker room. Winning's hard. So some people may not like that. We celebrate wins around here. So we're celebrating in that locker room because our guys have worked too damn hard since January to not go in there and have some fun and celebrate a win, because we only get 12 of these that are guaranteed as well. Sloppy without a doubt. And particularly, really in all three phases. A lot to clean up, obviously. Offense, defense, special teams did some good in all three phases and certainly did some bad in all three phases. So we have to coach better without a doubt. We knew going into this game we're a young football team. We started a true freshman left tackle. We got a redshirt freshman quarterback. We're going to have to live through some growing pains. Disappointing that we just had some of the self-inflicted things that we had tonight in all three phases that had nothing really to do with youth. We got to be able to, get lined up and execute and things like that. So that starts with me. Having said that, though, proud as heck of our team. A lot of teams would have found a way to lose that game, as ugly as it looked at times, and with some of the adversity we dealt with and some of the situations we put ourselves in. I thought we responded to adversity each time. Whenever something bad happened to one phase, the other phase picked them up and responded, whether it be, I think after we gave up that deep ball early in the game, I believe we came right back down the field and got points on the next drive maybe. To start the second half, we took the ball down there and got points when, we had a turnover on offense. Nick, we talk about complimentary football. We had a turnover on offense. Nick Harbor made a unbelievable play running that guy down and getting him out of bounds, which then allowed O'Donnell to get the interception a play or two later. So complimentary football and having each other's backs, and certainly wasn't pretty. We got a lot to clean up, like I said, but we'll learn from this one, enjoy it, celebrate it. Learn from this one, know that it was nowhere near good enough nowhere near good enough. But we're a team that's young, and we're going to continue to get better each and every week, and expect us to be a lot better next Saturday up in Lexington. Injuries. Emery Floyd and Brian Thomas didn't play tonight. Nothing long term. Should be fine for next week. Jared Brown got banged up a little bit. It's a lower body injury. I think he'll be fine. I haven't talked to Clint. I think he's going to be okay. And other than that, I think we came out of it in pretty good shape. Questions?
Shane, 22 carries for Lenoris. I know he just got off the field, but how much just kind of from rough viewers like that was designed, and then maybe he kind of took off on his own where he could have stayed in the pocket a little?
A little of both. A lot of it was designed. We don't want to run him 22 times a game like we did tonight, certainly, but we're going to utilize him in the run game. But we've got to continue to be better around him. And, we ran for 174 yards, which is good. We carried the ball 56 times. We've got to be able to throw the ball better, no question about it. But a lot of those runs, David, though, they were either called runs for him or some were reads or scrambles, whatnot as well.
Would you have liked to have seen more passes called or thrown? Maybe some of those were RPOs were.
Not necessarily. I mean, we've got to be able to throw the ball better than what we did tonight, and we will. But we've also got to be able to execute when we call passes. And we had some drops. We had some, routes that we didn't run quite correctly. We had some protection issues. We had some misreads, by the quarterback. So we've all got to, coach better. There's no question about it in the passing game. But, I can, if you are able to, keep the ball for 36 minutes like we did tonight and run 56 times for close to 200 yards, that's not a bad formula, but absolutely we have to be able to throw the ball better than we did.
And I think on some of those incompletions, maybe Lenoris seemed a little high just from our perspective. Do you think maybe he was just juiced up a little bit, nervous?
I don't know. I think he, certainly there's some throws he'd like to have back. I think he'll be the first to tell you he missed some. We threw a post early in the second half that had the route underneath it. I think was probably when he sees the tape wishes he had gone there. And some of those may be a high throw, but could be the wide receiver or tight end not running his depth potentially at the right route. So a lot to clean up, no question about it, and we will. I mean, you guys, I've told you this, and would I have liked to have thrown the ball tonight more than 114 yards? Absolutely, but I also know that we're going to get better throwing the football. We had 3 receivers that played a lot of snaps tonight that weren't even here during spring practice, in Camp and Dre and Nick. So those are 3 receivers that we didn't even get here until June. And, I'm not making an excuse. We need to be better. We've had 2 months with them, but we're going to continue to develop that chemistry with the receivers. Mike Smith played a lot tonight at tight end. He wasn't here during spring practice, and transfer receivers that have come in. So we're a work in progress, and we'll continue to get better throwing the ball, running the ball, playing defense, playing special teams for sure.
Coach, can you speak on how the lightning delay not only affected the fans but also the flow of the game?
I don't know about the fans. I thought they were great when we came back out after the lightning delay, and they were loud, and they were loud in the fourth quarter when we needed them to be loud and cause ODU some problems there at the end. I appreciate the ones that stuck it out and created energy in there when we came back out of the break. Having said that, we got to perform better when we come back out of the break, and I believe we did, if I'm not mistaken. I think we came we came out of the break, and I think we came out of the break. We had a drive, and then we ended up punting, I think, at the end of the drive. But I thought we handled it okay. Came in. It was being able to use the iPads now in college football is great because you can literally go through every play that's happened up until that point and coach it and figure out a plan coming back out of the break. And I thought our team really came out with energy and handled the break well.
All the mistakes can't be attributed to the fact that you played, a lot of young guys. But what are some of the big teachable points that you'll have for your young guys this week leading into Kentucky?
Yeah, and I don't want it, Rick, to come across that I'm making excuses for that because we played a lot of young guys. Yes, we did. It's a factor, but we're not the only school in the country playing true freshmen, and we've got to continue to help them and put them in position to make plays. And I told those freshmen, I told Mike Smith, a true freshman tight end, I told Mazio, true freshman receiver, told who else played as a true freshman tonight on Josiah Thompson, started at left tackle. I told those guys coming out of half, all right, you ain't a freshman anymore now. You've just played a half of SEC football, and we're past that excuse or whatnot. So they'll get better and learn from it. I'm proud of them for coming in there and handling their first college game like they did. But I think the biggest thing is just the let's not beat ourselves. And I thought we had too much of that tonight, whether it be drops, penalties, pre-snap penalties, not lining up the right way, things like that. That starts with us as coaches, and we'll do a better job of getting that cleaned up and coached up this week, hopefully.
You mentioned the Josiah. You had, a bunch of new guys on that offensive line. You run for, almost 175 yards, but just over 3 yards a carry. What did you make of the O-line performance and Rocket combined?
I know the narrative might be offensive line struggle. The offensive line played their butts off tonight. And all the gurus out there that want to break down the video, the offensive line played pretty good. Are there going to be some plays that they want to that they went back? Absolutely. We were atrocious tonight, perimeter blocking. And that was a key. With the way that Old Dominion plays defense, our guys outside the offensive line, the tight ends, running backs, receivers, they've got to be able to block. And you're not going to run the ball successfully against this team if your players outside your 5 offensive linemen don't do a great job, and we were nowhere near good enough tonight at that. Offensive line has to be over. I'm not sitting here anointing them the Joe Moore Award winners right now, but I was proud of them for what they did tonight, and there'll be plays that they want to have back. There's no question about it, but it's easy to sit there and say, well, offensive line struggled. No, the offensive line did a lot of really good things and played physical as heck.
Beyond just the takeaways and obviously the sacks, what did you see from your defensive line tonight? Was that rotation about what you had in mind when you kind of put this room together in the offseason?
Yeah, we just told the team in there we as coaches got to continue to do a better job of getting players in the game. I thought we had, a lot of guys that played way too many snaps tonight where we've got to be able to rotate guys and keep them fresh, and that's on the players too to have great weeks of practice where we feel comfortable putting them in the game But it was, last year, you guys know, we had a 3-man rotation at defensive tackle, and tonight I think we had a 5-man rotation and easily could have gone to 6 if we had needed to. We've got more depth at the edge position as well. So I thought those guys did a good job for the most part, and they hit obviously 2 big plays on us, the deep ball in the first half and then the quarterback run on 4th down, which it should have been a sack. If we just execute, properly as well. But that was disappointing, those 2 explosives. But for the most part, I thought they controlled the line of scrimmage and did a nice job.
What about what did you see from Kyle Kennard and Dylan Stewart? They were really disruptive tonight.
Yeah, I thought they were really good. Kind of goes back to we have more guys that can rush the passer than what we did last season. We have we have Kyle, who was a transfer obviously coming in, JT Gear's back healthy. Dylan Stewart's obviously a true freshman and did a great job. I thought they did a really good job. We just gave Dylan Stewart a game ball in there because he made a heck of a play on the strip sack right there on that turnover to allow us to, obviously that was a huge play in the game. And then I don't analyze the stat sheet before I go in there and figure out who gets game balls. I knew Kyle Kennard had played a pretty good game. I made the mistake. I didn't give him one. And then actually TJ Sanders grabbed me and said, please, trust me on this. You better give him a game ball. And he was right. He had, 2.5 sacks, 4.5 tackles for loss. So pretty good night for Kyle. He's done a great job and like the way those guys play. And then we've got to continue to keep developing depth and bring those guys along as well. Desmond, we put him in there at the end of the game. He's got to be able to continue to help us, and we have depth there on the defensive line as well. So we gave those guys game balls. We gave you a game ball, Jeff Crane. Congrats on your first win back as a Gamecock. So we gave you a game ball, but you weren't in there for it. But we'll make sure we get that to you. You're out there doing your job as well, but glad you're back and appreciate you as well.
Coach, the 2 offensive touchdowns for drives of 2 and 6 yards and some 3rd down struggles tonight as well. When you kind of evaluate everything from the offensive end, what's kind of the first thing that you think needs to kind of change in order to be able to sustain some drives?
We got to block on the perimeter better than we did tonight, period. If you're going to play receiver here, you got to block. And if you're going to play tight end here and you're not in the passing game, you got to block. And I'm not saying the effort was poor. I'm not saying it was all bad, but I think we're going to look back at the tape and see that there's a lot of plays that if we just execute a little bit better in the run game on the perimeter, we'll be a lot happier. Having said that, being able to sustain drives, I feel like we had some drives that we got down there and then shot ourselves in the foot. And but I'll say this too. I mean, we told them at halftime, we knew at halftime we were stinking it up in a lot of ways, and we told the offense in front of the team, look, all eyes are on you. We get the opening kickoff. We want to see what you do here. We haven't been at our best, and let's see what we do on this drive. And we had a drive that got 3 points. I went for that 4th down, backed up in our own territory, and I told the offensive line because I trust them and believe in them, and we were able to get that 1st down. And then we had a 3rd down conversion on that drive to Dre over on the sideline, which was a big play. And then I hate that we weren't able to finish the drive with points, but we moved the ball. We got to finish with touchdowns. And I looked up. One time, I won't even get into that. We got to finish with touchdowns.
This is the first game you guys were able to use the helmet communication. How do you feel like that dynamic went, offensively speaking, with you and Dow? And do you feel like it had any impact on, were there any issues at times or anything that maybe led to the offense just not being as efficient as maybe you would have liked?
No, I don't think it really had much of an impact, to be honest with you. I mean, we called every play where Dow's talking to Lenoris, so it was helpful. That was one of the things. I got a lot that I wrote down, Jack, from this game that we got to talk about tomorrow. But that was one of the things that I talked about was just I think we can be even better utilizing that in some ways, offensively and defensively. So it's a first game. We worked out the kinks in a lot of ways. I thought we were great with the iPads, being able to coach and adjust. The helmet communication certainly was a game changer. But I do believe on offense and defense we can be better there just with the communication. There's no question about it.
Hey, Coach, I think it was after the first scrimmage you talked about the importance of generating turnovers. Y'all had 14 points off of turnovers. Just talk about how big that is, and are you liking how the defensive unit is playing in the takeaway game?
Yeah, no, I mean, anytime you have, I guess we had takeaways on defense and back-to-back possessions to finish the game, I believe, with Dylan and then Jalen as well. So, yeah, huge. When you look, it's proven. Our record around here is stupid good when we win the turnover battle. It's like really good if we just tie the turnover battle. And so when you can take away the ball like we did, run the ball. I know our record now is pretty good when we run for over 100 yards. It was already. And then win the explosive play battle, and you're going to have a chance to be successful. But certainly, to me, the number one statistic in football is turnover margin. And we obviously won that tonight, and it was absolutely huge. Now, having said that, we've got to perform better in all three phases to not have to rely on takeaways, to win the football game either. But when they had to, they stepped up, and like I said, nobody panicked, and thought we did a great job.
The fake field goal, was that something you had seen in the tape leading up to the game, or something you'd seen during the game that you want to try?
That was something that we had seen leading up to the game. I don't think Hunter, my son's in here, but he knew that it was a family secret, but he knew the first time we had a field goal on the left hash, we were going to fake it. And he knew all about it, so hopefully he was alert when it happened. But, yeah, it was something we had seen on tape that it really should have been more open than what we thought. We kind of wanted to let them run through untouched, and DeAndre Jules blocked his guy a little bit better than we wanted him to block his guy. So the guy that Kai did a heck of a job making the guy miss. The guy that Kai made miss, we didn't anticipate him being there, but, DeAndre got just a little too much on the guy, kind of knocked him outside a little bit. That's who Kai made miss. But, yes, it was something that on Monday morning when I was watching tape of their field goal block team from last year, I saw it, went to Joe DeCamillis and said, hey, let's put this in and rep it this week, see how it looks, and told them in our staff meeting this morning, first time we kick a field goal on the left hash, left middle, we're going to run this. So hate that it came back. Kai made a heck of a play, and Brady made a heck of a catch. So we named it after Brady, too, being from Ball State. So it's a good little play. All right, thank y'all. Yep. Hope game one went well for you guys up in the press box. All smooth? Okay, sweet.